Hi, I'm Jojo. I'm here to show you how to turn this basic jewellery case into something that's cute and customised. My sweet friend Alex is getting married this year and she is taking her partner's last name. And one of the things that I really liked when I changed my name was things that had my new initial on them. For example, one of my old friends got me this Cambridge satchel. Obviously, not everyone takes their partner's last name when they get married. It's a very personal choice. I did it mostly for SEO purposes. I'm kidding. And when I got the handbag, it was kind of like oh shit, this is really happening. That's pretty fun. And I wanted to give that same experience to my friend Alex. So I went about trying to find a travel jewellery case. Girl is always travelling. She's got a job where she has to travel a lot. And now she obviously has a big shiny rock to take care of. My first stop was a site called Mark & Graham. They had this really nice little jewellery case and it has these two little sections so that you can take what you need. And I thought this would work really well. I got it engraved with her initials and I don't know how well you'll see on camera, but the A is actually scuffed. It's not a big deal, but to give as a gift, it felt pretty lackluster. So I thought, okay, there's going to be another solution to this. I'll send this one back and I'll look on Etsy. Obviously, Etsy is huge. There are so many independent sellers on there. And so I placed an order from someone in California. I'm not going to share the name of the store because it's not really relevant, but this arrived. And I was like, oh no, that engraving is not what I wanted at all. The print on it is pretty low quality. And honestly, the size is really the problem. Like this should be about a half of the size. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take matters into my own hands. I have absolutely zero experience, but 100% enthusiasm for crafts I've never tried. And really, what's the worst that could happen? I've already got two that don't look good. What's one more? So then I found myself a little jewellery case. It, like the original Mark Graham set, has this little flap so you can have your rings and your earrings down here and then your necklaces and other things up here. And I thought, this I can work with. But I didn't actually know how to do that. So I bought a set and I thought, well, how hard can it be? You have these little stamps of the letters that you're able to put into the leather and then the mallet that you hit the stamps with. And I figured it couldn't be that hard, right? I only really have one shot when it comes to this jewellery case because it needs to be given to her tonight. I thought I'd start with something else, namely my wallet. You can see that my wallet has seen better days, but it is something that I knew that if I didn't like, it wasn't going to be a big deal and I felt like I could do it confidently. So I put some masking tape along the bottom in what I thought was somewhat of a straight line. And then I measured out the middle of the project. And then I thought, screw it, we'll start with J. I tapped it in and you know what? It kind of worked. So I then followed on with the G. You can see that the G isn't quite in line with the J, and so I am really glad I used this as a test project so that I can figure out how to get that a bit better next time. But overall I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. Once the indent was complete, I knew that I could probably start painting. So I got this teeny tiny paintbrush that I had in my closet and this really pretty gold paint to be able to fill in the edges of the indent. And actually, I'm pretty pleased. It's not perfect because there definitely is a slight raise to the G, but it looks pretty good. And I felt confident enough based on this that I would be able to do this. So taking what I'd learned from doing my wallet, I measured it out on the jewellery case, marking the centre line, and then it's hammer time. Which was terrifying, but at the end of the day, it's really just crafts. I put in the A. I breathed a sigh of relief. I put in the G. It was a little off of exactly what I'd wanted, but I figured I can maybe cover that up with a paint. Painting was actually quite therapeutic in that it kind of settles into the indents of the project. And by that point, you know that if you make a mistake, you can always wipe it off rather than the indent itself. And so this is what we ended up with. I'm actually really proud of how this turned out. I think it looks very chic. I'm much happier with this than I was with either of these. So when in doubt, make it your damn self. This is actually a very cool way to make something super custom. If you're going to take this on, there are a few things that you should know. Tip 1. Hammering isn't forgiving, but the paint is. So if you've got something slightly out of line when you're hammering, just know that you can probably fix it by making the lines of your paint just that little bit thicker. Tip 2. One thing I wish I'd known was that these actually aren't entirely in line within themselves. So if you are going to do a practice project, use the initials that you're planning on using so you can see the variance between the letters. Experiment. You could do initials, you could do whole words, you could even think about using these to make individual patterns, which would be pretty damn cool. All in, the investment of the engraving tools and the gold paint cost me around $30, so anything I make after that is kind of free, right? I hope this has inspired you to make something for yourself or someone else that you love, and I can't wait to see what you make.